Good afternoon, and thanks for having us in. 3 years after he beat and shot a man and started his body on fire, Lamont Walker is learning his fate. 51-year-old Lamont Walker's sentencing hearing got underway at 9 o'clock this morning at the Minnehaha County Courthouse. Walker recently pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter. He could spend up to life in prison. In exchange for his plea, prosecutors dropped several charges, including murder, kidnapping, and rape. The case dates back to November of 2020. That's when a Minnehaha County deputy noticed a fire in a ditch just outside of Brandon. That's where they found 22-year-old Savon Kallstrom's body. KELOLAND's Renee Ortiz is in the courtroom and will have a full report on today's sentencing tonight on KELOLAND News. We'll also let you know as soon as a sentence is handed down. The lone survivor of the crash that killed 3 people near Beersford had his first court appearance this morning in Lincoln County. Authorities say 20-year-old Hayden Hall left the crash scene, stole a car from a nearby dairy operation, and drove home. According to court documents, he also faces alcohol-related charges. KELOLAND's Tom Hansen was in the courtroom for Hall's initial appearance and will have the latest on the case later today on KELOLAND News. A Lawrence County jury has convicted a Spearfish man in the 2022 shooting death of his wife. Jurors found Drew Rogers guilty of second-degree murder, 6 drug-related charges, and 5 charges of being a convicted felon in possession of a weapon. Destiny Rogers died January 22, 2022. Her husband, Drew, was later arrested and charged in the shooting. He'll be sentenced in early January. He faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison. Turning now to a first look at your midday forecast with meteorologist Adam Rutt. Bit chilly out there to start the day, Adam, and not exactly hot today, but all in all, a pretty nice week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very nice week shaping up, especially if you have any outdoor projects you want to get done at the last moment, considering we really have the weather set on easy mode for really the next about 7 to 10 days. Today, maybe kind of tricky just because it's actually kind of chilly in the afternoon. 36 with a view from our camera at the summit of Terry Peak. There's Lead in the distance with a little bit of snow for a change. Again, nice light south breeze out there, 2 miles per hour, 36 in Lead. And speaking of snow, they're making it as best as they can at Great Bear, 32, west wind is 7 miles per hour. The weather will cooperate nicely for that, especially at night. By day, however, it's going to be a different story. We do have warmer temperatures on the way that'll eat away at whatever is made over the next couple of days, if not outright weeks, because goodness knows Mother Nature is not going to be helping us. 27 your number right now. Worthington, Marshall, Brookings as well. Yankton following suit with Chamberlain, 26 in Pierre, 29 Aberdeen, 33 as you head toward Rapid City. A little bit on the breezy side out west, but everybody chillier now compared to the same point yesterday. And it's a double-digit difference in many locations as well. 19 degrees cooler, for example, Valentine and Rapid City. It's 18 degrees cooler compared to yesterday afternoon. Over in Phillips, 17 degrees cooler in winter. You get the picture. It actually feels like it's December. We do have some cloud cover along the Nebraska border, not to mention some snow showers down that way as well. And beyond that, it's going to be a pretty quiet afternoon across much of KELOLAND with seasonable temperatures for once. This is pretty close to average for this time of year. Low to mid 30s just about across the board. Nice healthy mix of sun and clouds for southeastern and northeastern KELOLAND for that matter. Maybe a little bit chillier up toward the Prairie Coteau, either side of 30, Sisseton into Watertown as well. But then out west, slightly milder. Nothing too drastic, but still mainly in the mid to upper 30s, near 40 towards Spearfish. A few more clouds out toward Rapid City, Hot Springs, Edgemont, and then down toward Pine Ridge and Martin as well. But we do have some milder temperatures to talk about. Not as much as last week, but still something to consider all the same. We'll talk about your 7-day forecast coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, Adam. After almost 40 years, the Watertown Area Chamber of Commerce has brought back Santaland. The original Santaland consisted of little figurine Christmas Town. Now the event is life-sized and bringing joy to both young and old.
That is what is the best part about this, is just seeing everybody's reactions and just feeling the warm and fuzzies that you get knowing that they're seeing something so cool to them that they have not seen before, which they can see other places. But to know that it's right here in Watertown is very cool.
In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND Summer Radar Shot brings us to Santaland and tells us what it was, what it is, and what they hope it will become. Winter has yet to show its face, but the city of Sioux Falls is preparing for its arrival. Following one of the worst winters on record, crews spent spring, summer, and fall repairing potholes. And thanks to the recent dry, warm weather, have managed to catch up. Now Sioux Falls is stocking up on salt.
We're filling up our salt domes. We mixed a little bit. We pre-treated some, so we had a little bit of space in our dome. So we've got some trucks that came up from Kansas to deliver us some raw salt.
We'll tell you how crews are taking advantage of the warmer temperatures to fill potholes and what happens when things turn bitterly cold tonight on KELOLAND News. The White House says that if Congress doesn't act soon, then America will no longer be able to provide support for Ukraine in its fight against Russia. The aid is set to dry up by the end of the month, which helps explain why Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Washington, D.C. today. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
In his third trip to Washington since Russia invaded Ukraine, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived Tuesday morning on Capitol Hill, meeting with all U.S. senators.
Very good and productive meeting.
He's making a case before lawmakers to send more aid to his country.
He needs the aid quickly. If we don't give the aid quickly, several things will happen. First, the military needs, but second, Europe and many other allies will say, what is going on here? They're not giving them the aid.
He's also meeting with the new House Speaker, Mike Johnson, who says he's not opposed to more funding for Ukraine, but wants to pair it with tougher policy on border security. A standoff over the border has stalled. The president's $110 billion package in the Senate, which includes aid for Ukraine, Israel, and other national security priorities.
We need to keep grinding through the negotiations, but I think the administration needs to recognize they have a problem. They need to stop worrying about their base and start worrying more broadly about the American people.
President Zelensky will face a friendlier reception at the White House, which warns U.S. funding for Ukraine will run out by the end of the year.
In January, the ground starts to harden, and it becomes easier for the Russians to go on the move. They're already trying to take the offense in the east.
Some Republicans have questioned whether another $60 billion in aid for Ukraine will actually help them win the war. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Congress has already authorized more than $75 billion in aid to Ukraine since the Russian invasion began.